Oh, that's tough.
That's tough. That's a dirty question.
Yeah.
Your little ones who could care less that you're in the studio working hard all day, they're like, let's go to the parades.
Okay, this is such a stressful question.
I said, thank you for lobbying for me, and I said, Drew, I didn't have to do much lobbying.
From the LOVE NOLA TV studio in the beautiful Garden District of New Orleans, this is the Marc Romig Show. Today's guests, local food and social media influencer, Dr. Nicole Cardad, singer and songbird of New Orleans, Robyn Barnes, sports columnist and author, Jeff Duncan, and the first family of Creole cuisine, Tracy Griffin, Dook, and Zoe Chase. And now, your host, Marc Romig.
Welcome, everyone, to the Marc Romig Show. Thank you for watching our full episodes on YouTube or listening on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or Amazon Music. There's also shorts on youtube.com/Love NOLA TV and reels on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You know, as we turn the calendar from Mardi Gras to Lent, we have a great lineup of guests this week. Let's talk seafood and the Latin and Hispanic influence on our dining scene with local favorite food and social influencer Nicole Cardad of Eaton Path NOLA. And I can't wait to hear about her Grammy Awards experience, New Orleans songbird Robyn Barnes. NOLA.com sports columnist and author of 2 definitive books on our New Orleans Saints, Jeff Duncan, joins us. And you can't talk about food and Lent in New Orleans without the first family of Creole cuisine. In the studio, we've got Tracy Chase Griffin and chefs Dook and Zoe Chase. All right, you know, we like to do surveys here, so I'm going to survey. What are we giving up for Lent?
You know, I always try to go chocolate because I love chocolate way too much. So
okay,
I think I'll probably do that again. That's
all sorts of chocolate or?
Any kind of chocolate.
Any chocolate.
Any
okay.
chocolate.
White chocolate as well.
White chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate.
All right, that's good. It's good. That's healthy giving up.
It's I guess it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing that you don't really have to give up and eat seafood or crawfish and all of the above because that's, you know, it's not really a sacrifice. But I think fried food. So I'm going to get all my seafood grilled on Friday and every Friday until Lent's over.
Very good. We'll be checking in on you on that.
Well, I do. Yeah. You'll see that I'll get a little bit later.
Yeah. Larry?
I was actually going to say fried food too, but I guess I'll go with
you can say it. You can say it.
That and fast food too.
Bring out the scales.
You can say it. I think I'm going to give up king cake. No, that's not a fair answer. You know, I might go the fried food as well. That's probably a good thing because Lord knows in Lent, Fridays, you know, fish fries and everything. But, you know, at this point, us New Orleanians are going to have to sacrifice, right? We're going to have to sacrifice and give up meat. So we're going to have to talk now about what we can do to make up for that.
Places like Arno's that do fried seafood or normally are known for their roast beef, they also have good fried seafood.
Well, we're going to
grilled as well.
We're going to get into it and see the alternatives we might have this Lent. You may know our first guest as Off the Eaton Path NOLA from the socials. Not only do I love her content, but I also love her bio. I love New Orleans, and I love to eat. Need I say more? Nicole Cardad, thank you for being with us.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
You're most welcome, and welcome to On the Table. This is sponsored by Blue Runner Foods, one of our great sponsors, so thank you for being on the show. Now, here we are in Lent. Starting up, that means Friday fish fries, right?
I know, yes.
There's so many in the area. Talk about what's your go-to places for this?
I mean, first, I think you really can't go wrong just driving down the street, passing a church with a little, you know, neon sign.
My own parish, yes.
And stopping in there. But then one of my go-tos is First 72 Plus. I don't know if you've had theirs, but they're a great nonprofit organization,
Really?
and part of their fundraiser for Lent is fish plates, and they're delicious fish plates. So that's what I usually do.
And
yeah.
I find them very reasonable. I mean, as you say, go around town, parishes everywhere having fish fries, and they're great to help support the parish as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you've got so many people who put their time and effort into it, and it's nice to be part of that.
Yes, for sure.
Now, you just recently collaborated with Visit New Orleans on some Hispanic and Latin-owned businesses. Let's talk about that. What did you cover?
Oh my gosh. First of all, it was a very difficult task to try and recall and research all of the Latin Hispanic owned spots that we have, because we do have quite a lot.
Yeah.
I was focusing on Orleans Parish, which had some folks in their feelings because we have a large community in, Jefferson Parish as well. But I had to narrow it down. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I categorized it in like restaurants, bars, pop-up restaurants as well, some barbers, private chefs, things like that. So,
And you also did some bakeries.
And some bakeries, yes.
Yeah.
How could I forget? Yes.
Anything come to mind that really struck you as a very special place to visit?
Yes, for sure. I mean, my go-to is Norma's, which is so good.
I know
Great
it's
Cuban
difficult to
sandwiches.
name one, right?
Yes.
Without naming all
no,
of them. But
it is. But Norma's, I think, is the great for like traditional pastries, cakes, and Cuban sandwiches. And then I was just talking about this morning, I'm checking out Café Conmigo soon. And so excited for that one, another Cuban bakery.
yeah.
And we don't have enough of those here. So I'm excited for them to be on the scene.
any of the lesser-known restaurants that you want to mention, ones that maybe are just coming into play?
Ooh, newer ones that are coming in?
Or ones that you think we could really give a pop to.
I mean, Café Conmigo for sure is brand new.
They're located?
They're off of Ferret.
Okay.
They're off of Ferret. Yeah. I mean, newer spaces, I can name some of the kind of like, well, how about pop-ups? I feel like people don't pay attention enough to pop-ups.
Right.
We have a lot of Latin Hispanic-owned pop-up spots. So if you go on some of their Instagrams, you can find where they might be. Some of them are inside the same bar all the time or brewery. Que Pasta Nola is my absolute favorite, Cuban and Honduran. Huasca is Colombian, which is really good too. So yeah, I go on that list on my Instagram and you'll see the pop-up list and definitely check those out.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the Peruvian and Colombian influence that we have here, which is tremendous as well.
Yes.
It's been special about New Orleans and the fact that so many nationalities are bringing their food, and they're also, combining it with what they're used to eating here, the Creole and the Cajun. But it's great to see that the purity of that food too.
No, absolutely. Well, and we have such deep connections to the Caribbean and Latin America here in New Orleans. I'm a history lover. I was a history major in undergrad, and so I'm fascinated by food as a vehicle for learning our histories and how we pass down stories and things like that. And so yeah, I mean, all of that is deeply connected to New Orleans for sure.
I wanted to mention this to you, and we can talk about it again when you come back. But this May we have Sail 250 coming, and we have a number of ships coming from South America.
Oh.
So you'll have a ship from Peru, from Chile, from Ecuador, from Uruguay. So I'll come back to you with some of those.
Okay.
Some of those
Yeah.
crew members are going to want to know where they can go get some good food here as well while they're here,
for sure.
including New Orleans food as well.
Yes. Okay, and you keep mentioning Peruvian, which did jog my memory about a new spot. I mean, everyone loves, myself included, Tito's ceviche, right?
Yes.
I mean, so good.
Right down on St. Charles
Right here on
Avenue.
St. Charles, yeah. But then there is a new one on Magazine Social, Peruvian as well.
Very good.
That's outstanding. I went recently. It's very good.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'll put that definitely on my list. As we come to the end of the segment, I wanted to ask you if somebody comes to New Orleans and they're going to be here for a weekend, and you had to map out their places to go, and let's put a disclaimer here. You could list so many, but
Yes.
What comes to mind? Where you want them to go and enjoy New Orleans?
Okay, this is such a stressful question.
Again, I'll put the disclaimer on that I put you up to it.
Yes. Okay. All right. I am a sucker for some of our classic places. I just did brunch at Brennan's over the weekend. So I would recommend Brennan's. I would recommend Commander's Palace as well. I just think, they're beautiful. The service is outstanding. And again, I love history, and they have some, really interesting historical, stories surrounding both of those institutions. And then I think you do have to check out some of our hole-in-the-wall places, or really the food that people eat kind of often or every day. So obviously soul food, Creole food is really popular here. So I would send someone to Little Dizzy's or Willie Mae's for gumbo, fried chicken, all that good stuff.
Yeah, what I like what you've done here just now is that you've also mentioned several neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And that says a lot about, where you can find good eating in New Orleans, right? In any neighborhood, you can go and find it.
It's true. Yeah.
And we're going to be looking for more of your great information on Off the Eaten Path NOLA. So we're going to be following you, and hopefully we get some more great advice from you. Thank you. Good eating. Keep it up, and we look forward to having you back.
I will. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Mark.
Nicole. Okay. I have been looking so forward to having my next guest on to talk about her Grammy experiences. I get to spend 5 minutes with New Orleans songbird, Ms. Robyn Barnes. Robyn, how are you?
So good.
I'm so happy to have you here in the studio.
So happy to be here with you.
And just fresh off of your Grammy experience, I mean, tell me, what was it like?
First of all, you know, born and raised in New Orleans, we have all these amazing events. And it's always circled around music and culture. But to be in the room with so many major artists and everyone's just there for a celebration of music, it was the place to be and the time to be there. It was magnetic.
Yeah, I was following you on Instagram. It looks like you were having some fun.
I had so much fun. It was like it was one of those things where everyone was just there to just meet people, collab, and just have a great time.
You know, as a singer and an artist, you were surrounded by, I will call, your peers. I mean, what was that? What was the camaraderie like? I mean, who did you speak with, and what was it like just sitting there?
I have to say, you know, being in a room with people who, like you say, are my peers, and I'm receiving this because I feel like it's one of those goals that everyone has as an artist, to be in the room with other people who are doing what you love to a different level. And I feel like I'm finally getting to that next level and hopefully the next level. And seeing them right in front of you was so humbling because it reminds you, you know what? Dreams can come true if you stay the course. And these people are human, just like you.
Yeah, I know you've been working at it so hard and for so long, and we deeply appreciate all that you do. And you represent New Orleans so well. And there you were at the Grammys representing New Orleans with a lot of other great New Orleanians, huh?
I mean, to be in the same room with, you know, my friends, B.J. Morton and John Baptiste, other artists who are, you know, call New Orleans home, it was just one of those things where you just feel so proud to be representing home, but also in a light of just joy. And I think New Orleanians and Louisianians, we just bring a different flavor. We just bring celebration of life that people just feel it when they meet us. And that's so many things. I met so many different people from different walks of life. And every time they heard that I was from New Orleans, they're like, oh, we could tell. We could tell. We can tell. Your joy is just exuding. We can
You're
tell.
very positive all the time, all the time. But, you know, we won some really nice awards at the Grammys. I say we, New Orleans artists. Let's talk about some of those.
Well, you know, PJ won an award, which obviously PJ and John Baptiste. PJ Morton, of course. PJ Morton and John Baptiste have won awards before, but it's just so amazing how they continue to make home proud with winning this year. And then this year we also had in the regional roots category Joel Savoy. Wow. And that was a tribute to the Zydeco King, which I think it's so amazing how not just New Orleans but Louisiana as a whole, we have such a tapestry of music and history and culture, and us having that stewardship to share that to the world is so powerful. And to see us get recognized for it is just, it's inspiring.
Yeah, you know, it's a point of pride that we all have watching that show and knowing that it's being seen worldwide, and New Orleans and the music from Louisiana is represented just so well. So let's shift the gears a little bit.
Okay.
How did your Mardi Gras work out?
Whoo, Mardi Gras was a test. It's one of those things where, you know, I'm doing my new album and I am in the studio all day. So constantly singing, constantly just giving all that energy. And then in the evening, your little ones who could care less that you're in the studio working hard all day, they're like, let's go to the parades. And we did. We went full force. We did the parades during the day when we could. We did them at night. And by my daughters being older now, they want to go to everything. And they want to get all the throws. So here I am singing all day and screaming all night because I'm like, just give them the biggest stuffed animal.
I know, you almost want to have a sign so that you don't have to use your beautiful voice.
Vocal rest, please toss toy to my child.
Yeah, I know Riley has to enjoy Mardi Gras.
Oh, she loves the dressing up.
Oh, yeah.
I think the costumes are her favorite thing, and then the marching bands and hearing the music. Oh, no, the dancers. She keeps telling me for Halloween she wants to be a Mardi Gras marching band dancer. And I'm like, okay. So lots of bejewels.
Get her a baton. We can
like
start
twirl it up.
practicing,
I'm like, no, maybe play the piano. And she's like, no, I want to dance. And I'm like, or the guitar. I want to dance.
No, she wants to dance. She sees those boots. She wants to do the boots. Wow. Let's talk about what you have coming up in the spring.
Yes.
They're coming into festival season now that we're into Lent and we get into so many festivals that hit New Orleans. We'll be talking about those in shows to come, but let's talk about what Robyn's going to be doing.
So funny enough, I always say this to all my friends. We are entering musician Strustival season. Strustival season, where it's nonstop performing and gigging and shows all night. So for me, I am going to be doing obviously Fringe Quarter Fest. I'm excited about that. I'm gonna have some special guests for that, and then I'm gonna be doing my album release in May, and I'm gonna be performing at Jazz Fest, which this year I'm performing May 3rd, and I'm excited to say I'm actually closing a stage.
Wow.
So I'm going to be performing on the Lanyap stage, and I'm going to be able to show this new side of Robyn with the music. And I get to close a stage on May 3rd.
That's going to be iconic. I'd love to have you back to talk about the experiences after.
I'm going to make you proud, though, before then. I'll make you proud.
You always make me proud, and you always make everyone proud. Just having the songbird here on the show is a blessing. It really is. So what else do you want to bring back to?
Yes. Okay. So my first single of the new album is going to be February 27th, and it's one of my favorite ones. I hate to say it. I love them all. I love all the songs, but this one is a favorite because this is going to be the first introduction of the album. And it's going to be featuring Rockin' Doopsie and Dwayne Doopsie. Oh, wow. And I won't give too much away for it, but definitely encouraging people to pre-save. Go to my website, robynbarnesmusic.com, or go to my Instagram, New Orleans Songbird, and pre-save, because as independent artists, everyone streaming, everyone buying, it's how we're able to continue moving forward through that support. And I know my home supports us, so.
Yes, ma'am, and I say buy local.
Buy local.
Let's
we'll
keep supporting
local.
you, and let's have you back to talk about your festival experience. Hopefully it's non-stress, and you're so beautiful. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
We look forward to staying in touch and seeing the new album and hearing some other magic that's going to come up on that.
Yes.
Thank you again, Robyn.
Mark.
Take care. Move the chains. All right, Move the Chains. This is sponsored by Crystal Hot Sauce, how New Orleans does flavor. I can't talk enough about Drew Brees and his much-deserved first-ballot induction into the Hall of Fame. And there's no one better to talk about that subject than our guest now, longtime sports columnist for NOLA.com and author of Payton-Brees, the men who built the greatest offense in NFL history, Jeff Duncan. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
It's great to have you in the studio, and it is the talk of town, and it has been for the last few weeks. You were a voter, correct?
Yes.
So how did you present that case for Drew? I mean, what was it like being in that august body?
Well, it's funny. After the ceremony, Drew thanked me. He's very, very nice. Said thank you for lobbying for me, and I said, Drew, I didn't have to do much lobbying. His resume, his body of work speaks for itself. In the past, on the selection committee, we've had presenters, literally for great players like Brett Favre, Peyton Manning. They don't even lobby. They just say the name and save everyone the time. But the Hall of Fame has actually encouraged us in the last few years to recognize and honor the player with the full 5-minute presentation. They like to film it, so I'd put together a presentation that I thought represented his career as best I could. There's a tremendous responsibility and obligation you have on the selection committee as the New Orleans representative to present the best case. You feel a little bit like a defense attorney, but there wasn't much discussion for Drew Brees. He was as much of a shoe-in, I think, as you can have.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt that he was going to be
correct.
First
I'm a little worried just because of some of the quirky results we've had in the last couple of years. We have a new voting process that I'm sure you saw in the news. Bill Belichick did not get on first ballot. He's certainly deserving. So there was a little bit of concern for me, but thankfully it was unwarranted.
Yeah, it was quite the emotional moment, watching the show that evening, the honors, and to see those men walk out on the stage and realizing that these are the role models for this year for the Hall of Fame. It was just fantastic.
It's powerful.
Yeah. This is the book, Payton-Brees, The Men Who Built the Greatest Offense in NFL History. This is a pretty bold statement that you make. Can you talk about that? I mean, that's quite the claim.
Well, I have to say, Sean Payton and Drew Brees both believe it and have said it as well. I know they're biased, but Mark, I mean, you were here. You called the games. I mean, for a 15-year period, a decade and a half, it was the most prolific offense in the history of the NFL. All the records that were set during that time, they gained more yards, scored more points, more first downs, more completed passes. Name any stat of any offense over a 15-year period in the history of the game. They broke 17 NFL records, not Saints records, NFL records. Yeah. Many of them still held. I don't think there's any argument that over such a sustained period of time, no offense has ever compared. I mean, there's been some great ones like the Greatest Show on Turf with the Rams and, the great Chargers offenses with Dan Fouts under Don Coryell. But they were kind of brief 2 or 3 year windows of just prolificacy. This over such a long period of time when every defense in the league was game planning to stop, and they had to keep evolving over that period of time. There's never been really anything in the league like it. I think it's a pretty sound argument.
Yeah, and you had that consistency of Drew Brees, Sean Payton, Mickey Loomis. Mm-hmm. You had decisions that were being made that kept building on each year. Which
it's very rare.
Proved out.
Very rare to have that long a window. And I think we all started to take a little bit of it for granted. And now that we look back on that period, you realize how special it was.
Real quickly, I did want to talk about your other book, A Life Impossible, which is the story of Steve Gleason. You wrote with him. Again, just a very moving portrait of a gentleman who went through so much and has just given back so much, and he keeps giving back so much. What was that experience like working with him?
It was extraordinary. I mean, it'll be the most extraordinary project I'll ever work on in my career. I'm convinced of that. Steve is the most impressive, inspiring person I've ever covered. And that includes Drew Brees. And I think Drew Brees would tell you the same. He's a huge fan of Steve's. What Steve goes through on a daily basis to live his life it's almost impossible. Yeah. Right? That's the title of the book. And he continues to inspire, I think, everyone around him. He attracts people, his gravitational orbit for attracting great people in his universe, and the leaders and the foundation that he formed, Team Gleason, that's changing and improving the lives of so many people that have been afflicted with that disease. Yeah. And that book, I think there's just so many life lessons in there for people that maybe if you haven't picked it up or read it yet, it's not just a football book. It's really a story of how to live life when we encounter adversity, when we have a curveball thrown at us. And certainly he's had a huge one, but he's still going strong 16 years into this diagnosis.
Yeah, what struck me is the importance of family and friends to get you through some of life's most difficult moments. So thank you for bringing that forward. All right, so Jeff, there are 2 trips coming up that Saints fans are going to be keenly interested in. One is the Hall of Fame game where Drew will be inducted officially, brought up with his gold jacket. And the other one will be the Saints playing in Paris against an unannounced opponent. Right. Both, the Saints Nation will travel. What advice would you give the Saints Nation on that?
Well, I would start planning now. The Hall of Fame game hasn't been officially announced, but all indications are that the Saints will be playing in that game. That's always it's the first game of the year in August. And that's a small town. If you haven't been to Canton, Ohio, there's not a lot of hotels or Airbnb options. I would start trying to plan that now if you want to be there and be a part of that that incredible experience and see Drew Brees go in the Hall of Fame.
And to see that museum, it's spectacular.
Definitely. If you're going to fly, you probably fly into Cleveland. But that should be an amazing experience. I talked to Drew at the NFL Honors Show, the press conference afterward, and he said he's got a bunch of teammates coming in. It's going to be a big celebration, so it'll be special for Saints fans to be a part of that, and we know they'll have a huge turnout.
Close to Purdue.
Yes. It'll be a great experience, and the excitement built around the football team this year with what Tyler Shuck did.
And the field there is named after Tom Benson.
Correct.
Right.
He gave $11 million for that, and so it should be a nice, pleasant weekend. It'll probably be hot, but I would definitely make that trip. And then if you can get to Paris in late October, I think that's going to be very special too. The first ever NFL game in the country of France at the National Stadium, Stade de France. I know it's big for Gail Benson. It's been a big project for her to try and build up the marketing and interest level. If you've been to France, it's not a huge American football country, but it's growing. The interest level is growing. And as we reported on that game coming about, it's kind of been in the works for a year. I can't tell you how many French journalists have reached out to me, European journalists, excited about that event. I think it's going to be great. There's going to be probably all kinds of pageantry around it between the sister countries of France and obviously the sister city of New Orleans. So I think that'll be an amazing
it's
experience.
a natural with the Louisiana connection to France. And, no one knows how to party better than we do. So we'll be bringing the party, I'm sure.
Yeah, and, when you go to France, I'm sure you've been, and I've been a few times to Paris, it really does. You start to see where New Orleans, the French influence came on our city. I mean, there's so many things over there. Either been named after the origins over in Paris or France. Right. So it's a great experience for New Orleanians.
Yeah, very good. Well, we appreciate you giving us the time to be here. Again, your book, Payton-Brees, if you haven't seen it, pick it up. It's a great book about two great athletes, people involved in the sport that have really changed the way we look at the Saints.
Yeah, thank you. And if you're in business, they're great leaders. I think there are business principles.
Very inspiring, as is Life Impossible with Steve Gleason. So look forward to seeing you again. Talk about some more great things happening around the Saints training camp. We've got the draft coming up and more things that you're going to be touching.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I look forward to coming back.
Great, Jeff. Appreciate it. All right, I can't tell you how excited I am to have our featured guests in the studio today. Here we're starting Lent, and I am blessed, the show is blessed to have the Chase family. Thank y'all all very much for being here. Tracy Griffin, Chef Zoe Chase, Chef Dook Chase, thank you for giving us the time.
Oh, thanks so much for having us.
Thank you for the invitation, yes.
We've got a lot in common, past experiences over the last several years, but y'all have a deep history. All of you grew up in a restaurant that's fed civil rights leaders and presidents of the United States and celebrities, but also people from New Orleans and people from the neighborhood. What are the lessons, or what's the one lesson you learned growing up in that kitchen? And Tracy, let's start with you.
The one lesson we've all learned is to be of service. Mm-hmm. Hospitality for us is giving of yourself to others. It's more than just, cooking a pot of red beans and rice, but it's truly being of heart and mind and full service to everyone that you encounter. And that's the one lesson that we've learned from the kitchen.
That's quite a legacy, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. It's huge. I think, especially as we think of this season that we're approaching, that speaks to my family, we're rooted in faith and community, and that's preached over and over through multi-generations of not only just getting out there and supporting the community, but understanding that faith is always driving this family forward. So with that, we try to continue the legacy, as we say.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Zoe?
Yeah, I've seen my grandmother work hard in her 90s. So one thing my family has definitely taught me is hard work. And, doing for others, always being there for the community. So seeing her in her 90s working hard, we have no choice but to work hard.
Great mentor and role model, for sure. Yes. Mm-hmm. What's your very first memory of the restaurant? Now, that will take you back a little bit, but what do you remember? Tracy?
Oh, well, I was not always as angelic as I am now. But first memories, dear memories, was always running in the restaurant. You ran in with joy, glad to see your grandmother and grandee and all the staff that cared for you dearly and would give you whatever you wanted. So we would be in our pigtails running behind the bar because the bubble gum, the juicy fruit gum and the spearmint was behind the counter in the bar, and we would fill up our pockets with that. And then we would run to the takeout kitchen, and, the staff there would give us a portion of fries, which meant a bag of French fries and ketchup for us to munch on and nibble on. We knew when we walked through those doors we were going to be spoiled. But it wasn't until later on you realize those that were spoiling you were some pretty powerful individuals. The lady that would let us fill up our pockets with the bubble gum was Mrs. Virgie Castle, Aretha Castle Haley's mother. And we go, oh, wow. But we were really spoiled by some wonderful, great people in our city.
Well, you had mentors growing up, I'm sure. So what was your very first memory?
I think my very first memory, like Tracy said, running in the kitchen. Grandmother was sitting at the table, speaking to her, stealing a piece of chicken, going to the bar, Grandee singing to you, and him letting you open up a root beer. So, yeah, really just having a joy and just so much fun of just running all over the restaurant and being around family.
Yeah. Dook?
Yeah, the restaurant's always been our playground, even back then with the bar, they had those wooden slats that would seesaw almost over the water pipe. So we would be run behind the bartender just to hop on that. But the other thing, my great-grandmother, we called her Mama, she had a little cash room, and she would, I think on purpose, drop loose coins and dollars. And as she would get up, she would say, all right, kids, whatever y'all find on the floor, you can keep. So we would all go there and pick up nickels and pennies and quarters, occasionally find something else, and just be so just excited. But then, as you got older, we would fold boxes for takeout, and we would race for that. Who can fold the most boxes in a minute? Who can fold the most napkins? And we didn't know we were being trained for the restaurant industry or hospitality industry. We thought it was always fun and games. Right? I can shine a silverware faster than you. I can fold boxes faster than you. But that was the way we grew up in our playground, as we call it.
Wow. And we always did it with a song. Because Grandee, the musician that he was like Zoe said, always humming a melody or creating something new. So, of course, there was a jingle that we all knew about Dooky Chase. So as you played around and had the contest of folding boxes and napkins and whatnot, you sang the I'm Going Down a Dooky Chase song.
Oh, that's wonderful. What's the one dish that best describes Dooky Chase? The one dish that comes to mind.
You definitely have to touch on gumbo. And not only does it describe who we are as a family, right? You often hear about my grandparents changing the course of America over a bowl of gumbo, bringing people to the table. But when you think about gumbo, right, especially our gumbo, we have two types of sausage. We have smoked and a chorizo sausage. That's our Creole hot sausage. We have veal stew. We have chicken. We have shrimp. We have blue crabs. All is smoked ham shank. All these different proteins coming together under a roux, right? That's who we are as a community. So many diverse cultures, so many diverse people, but we all come together and work together and produce something fantastic, and that's this city. So that gives gumbo, tells the story of my family, tells the story of our city and our community.
And there's one special gumbo that will be served specifically on a holy day coming up in several weeks. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, Holy Thursday, our gumbo zeb, green gumbo. That is it for that day, and I know Zoe knows all about it because she cooks so much of it on that particular day.
Yes, I remember the first time I had to cook it by myself. You had to go to a meeting or something, and I was so scared. I'm like, Lord, see me through this. Grandmother, see me through this. And I knew how to fix it because he came there. He helped me fix it and stuff. But I remember just being so nervous that, okay, I'm going to fix this, and now we're going to have to serve it to everybody. But I remember, it's so delicious. And that's always, like, the heartwarming, like, when people are like, oh, the food is so good, it's so delicious, because these are, generational recipes that I'm 5th generation now cooking, so that makes me feel amazing. When people are like, oh, it tastes the same as when grandmother fixed it. So very, very grateful for Holy Thursday. We love to make it 9 different greens.
Yeah, and when you think about that, you're thinking of your spinach, your turnips, your collards, your carrot tops, beet tops, watercress, all the different greens. But it also has a lot of meat, right? Because we, in our Catholic faith, you're fasting, getting ready to fast on that next day. So again, we don't have any seafood in this one, but we do have the chicken, we have the ham, we have the smoked ham shank, veal stew, the 2 types of sausage. But as much fun as we have in the back kitchen, there's so much fun going on in the front. And that's why Tracy kind of just keeps us flowing on that point.
Oh, it's a lot of fun in the front. We get so much joy watching the guests and our family and our friends come through the door on Holy Thursday, and they're coming in such a spirited way, festive in dress. All the hugs are being passed around, not just to guests coming at their table, but the guests they were hoping to see that were seated at the table next to them that have been coming for years and years. And it's a day we really don't have to have a hostess because everybody knows their table. They know who's expected to come for that particular seating. So that makes it a little, easy on that front. Our challenge is making sure we have enough tables and chairs.
You're right, and I'm fortunate to be invited to dine with John Pope and his group. And it's like a reunion in so many ways. And it's a hard-fought table to get to, all the tables.
Yes.
That's the challenge, right?
You have 2 seatings now, right?
3
we
now.
have 3
And that's our challenge, right? Because people say, when does the reservations open up? I said, well, the person that's eating there on that Thursday makes their reservation for next year. Yeah. So each time when we sit back, we say, how can we get more people in? How can we feed more people? So we keep adding seatings. But what we also done is add out take-out pickup, curbside pickup, where you can get quarts and you can get gallons and you can get an 8-piece and a 12-piece fried chicken. Because the most important thing that my grandmother always wanted was you to experience that with others, right? Yeah. So if you can take gumbo home to your family or your neighbors in your community and experience that, just bringing people together and having some good gumbo zeb and fried chicken, I mean, come on. We're in heaven right there.
You got to add the fried chicken to that. Let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the experience that y'all have recently had with the Disney group, the Disney company. We know The Princess and the Frog, that beautiful animated classic, is patterned after Chef Zoe Chase, and something special happened around that with the restaurant. Tracy, why don't you kick us off? Tell us what that relationship looks like.
Oh, I mean, that's one we could not have imagined, one that we are confident that grandmother did not imagine the breadth of that relationship or how the gift of how her story would continue to be told for generations globally. I mean, it's really wonderful. The Disney family are incredible individuals. They come, not just to our family, but to our city, to our state, earnest with true intent to tell an authentic way and show people our city, what makes us who we are. Not just, Mrs. Chase, what made her who she was, but really what we all thrive off from our city. So it's just really wonderful to continue to work with them in storytelling about our city, but about grandmother through the ride, and now even through a traveling exhibit that is taking place in children's museums starting next month in Indianapolis. So we're really excited for that. It's just a beautiful relationship that we all continue to have.
Yeah, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, the ride at Disney World and Disneyland, it's an experience, and it is a love letter to New Orleans in many ways. It's one of their longer rides experiences that they've done, and again, New Orleans as a featured city is not is a gift. No other city gets the attention that New Orleans gets with the Disney company. So we're very, very pleased with that, and y'all are represented so well.
Oh, it's huge, you know. And what I love most about that storytelling that they're getting, and as Tracy said, just so authentic. You know, we grew up understanding that my grandmother's father told her to 3 things as she was traveling to New Orleans to go to school and work. He said, "Leah, remember to work, pray, and do for others." And if you think about in the movie, Tiana's father told her, "Tiana, never ever forget what's really important." So when you ride that ride in Disney parks, you see on the water tower that exact statement, never ever forget what's really important, and that's community. So as they tell that story and see that, I mean, it's inspiring, right? Every time I go there and ride, every time I see the movie, every time I hear the story, you think of a young woman, a young lady, or a young person in general, really having a passion for their dreams, but putting everything behind it, the work, the faith, the hope, the doing the right thing for community, and then realizing it at the end. I mean, I know. That's just inspirational.
It's a great ride.
Yeah, that's why I love the splash, because it covers up all the tears.
You know, speaking of helping the community, the restaurant played such a huge pivotal role in the civil rights movement. When did y'all understand that growing up, that it was having such an impact?
Like I said, it took the younger ones a moment, because it was someone significant in civil rights that was, you know, giving us the bubble gum or the French fries or, you know, the soda, whatever it was. And it took us a little bit. I hate to admit it, but I guess I am the senior one in the cast of Chases here right now. But, you know, Grandy would take us to NAACP luncheons and subtly express the importance and the pride of work and being there for the community. And I guess, you know, appropriately as you grow up in age, just being exposed to and introduced, then you start to get it and to realize it. And then, you know, now as we're more and more, you know, at the restaurant and involved in restaurant, you see daily the impact that the restaurant has made on families, on the community, and even on just every individual that walks in, their regard. The staff, you know, several times this past week, they said, I have to give me 5 minutes. I need to take a break, because they were so moved by what a guest shared with them on their regard for just entering in to the restaurant. And this is comments made from people near and far that, you know, really sought the restaurant out to be in such a space for community, and as they refer to, a sacred space that holds values that are dear to them, not just from because they're in our city, but these are people that are traveling into our city that have the same regard and revere for the restaurant and the work it has done.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. As you're growing up as a child, you don't really digest all of what's going on. But the great thing that my family was able to do and still do is they incorporate the children at such an early age, whether we go into a meeting, whether we go and feed the community, where we're looking in a restaurant and just enjoying the art. And then as we grow up, start to understand why we started to collect African-American art in the first place. Growing up, playing around in a Ticketmaster booth by takeout. And then as you grow up, understand why we started to sell tickets in the first place, right? It wasn't just a joy of selling tickets. It was to make sure community had access to those tickets to be able to seat in certain sections that were not gained for them. Understanding that they were cashing checks at the bar for longshoremen that wouldn't be treated fairly. All this stuff growing up you may have seen, but you didn't fully digest it until you were old enough to appreciate it. And with that knowledge, now you say, okay, it's our turn to service. What's that void that we need to fill in community that they experience or showcase to us as a young child? So sort of like with me in the fourth generation, we try to bring the fifth generation along. Zoe's pretty much the elder of the fifth generation, but there's a lot of younger ones in the fifth generation that we bring into these meetings, into feeding these communities, and give them a little taste of it, but just let them be there, let them experience. And then when they get older, just like we learn, you start to appreciate, oh, this is why I was there.
Yeah.
And the younger ones are holding us to task.
They move quick.
They move really quick, and sometimes we move too slow for them. But, several years back, it was the younger ones that came up with voting stirs the pot. Mm-hmm. And when the city leaders were asked to do to help with census, they were out in front of the restaurant, chanting for voter registration and completing the census. And these were little crumb snatchers, like, come on, let us. And we're going, okay, all right, here we go.
Well, thank you, Tracy. We've got a lot going on. You've got Chapter 4 happening. We want to talk about your new show coming up on public television. Zoe, and what you're doing. So let's kick it off with Chapter 4.
Yeah, no, definitely. Chapter 4 is named after really a celebration of the fourth generation in the hospitality business of my family. And when you go to that restaurant, we not only tell that story in the name, but the artwork as well. You see, as soon as you walk in and you look left, you see a strong woman with a hand out silhouette. And that silhouette that's holding her hand is the generations that came before her, that set the stage, gave her that foundation. And then you move on to a father teaching his son a trade, and then a grandmother teaching a daughter how to sew. But what we're telling is you learn so much about life in that instance, right? I learned so much about life in the restaurant. Not only how to serve food and cook great food and all that, but really just how to operate and how to appreciate the love of people. That's what you learn through those conversations. Yes, the show that's coming up is fantastic on PBS called The Chef's Journey. I certainly have this chef that's to the right of me, Chef Zoe Chase, on there highlighting, as well as Tracy and my Aunt Stella, and many chefs in New Orleans. Because it's a celebration of our culture, not just my family's culture, but the city's culture. Right. So you'll see that diversity. And what you will see is the similarity, right? The stories of people coming over, the stories of cherished recipes from generations to generations to generations. So I'm truly excited about that show that's getting ready to air.
And it's going to air nationally.
It's going to air nationally. Yeah, we were very blessed to have a pickup of over 90% that picked up the Dooky Chase Little Legacies, one that aired previously, and this one has over 94% that's going to air nationally in the market. So we've been blessed with many opportunities and really excited. Like, as Tracy talked to about earlier, that fifth generation pushes us. So we try to keep up and get out the way, as my grandmother would say.
Zoe, you're keeping up, I hear.
Yeah, I'm just blessed that y'all have the faith in me to continue the legacy, especially in the kitchen, and just blessed that I'm able to be there all the time and cook, and now even doing the Goldbelly. People get to try it all over across the United States. So very blessed and just grateful that they trust me to, continue the legacy through the food. And hopefully, I have my cousins in the fifth generation that come and help me. They come and help me do Goldbelly. So very grateful that we have the fifth generation wanting to work in a restaurant and knowing the importance of the legacy and continuing the legacy.
Now explain the Goldbelly.
So the Goldbelly, they could probably explain it a little better. I'm just a little packer. But so we ship the gumbo, we ship jambalaya, shrimp Creole, crawfish etouffee. We even do the gumbo zab for Goldbelly too. So anybody across the United States, we get Hawaii. Like, it's so fun to see how many people from across the United States wants to try all of our food. And we're just so grateful for
That's
it.
beautiful.
Yeah, and Zoe's being very humble when she say little packer. Let me really explain what she's doing here.
The volume.
The volume of gumbo, she's cooking kettle after kettle of gumbo. So when she says packer, she's taking that gumbo out of a packer and package it in a quarts and half gallons to freeze to ship on. So gumbo, shrimp Creole, crawfish etouffee, jambalaya, and it's extremely kettle after kettle. I feel bad sometimes when I walk in and I see the fifth generation just going from kettle to quart. I'm like, oh man, I'm sorry.
It's with love, I know that.
Yeah. Oh, it is with love.
It is. I gotta say, Zoe, when we took the young women who were in the culinary space to Disney last year, you were such a role model, and you are to them, because they're wanting to make their mark in the culinary world. And we had over 20 young women, and having you there to show them it can be done if you put the work in. And I want to thank you for being that role model.
Thank y'all. That was I was so grateful to be in that space. Definitely made so many connections with all of those women to, hopefully if wherever they go on, if they want to come work or if I, open up something one day, I could ask them
Very
to help,
special.
so
Very special.
very grateful and very thankful that I was in that space and could talk to all of those women. And, we all went to the same culinary school, different culinary schools. So very, very grateful.
Great.
It was a really good time.
All right. Can someone explain COD?
Yeah. I mean, look, Chase on demand. Chase is always going to be at that restaurant. So, you're never not going to have a Chase when you walk through those doors at Dooky Chase. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have about 5, 6, or 7 of us.
I love it.
That will come and work the room. And if you don't see one, you probably just didn't ask because we're coming right out very quickly.
I love it.
But that's it, man. Because it's our home. It's our. People say sometimes it's our first home. The second home is the one we go home to sleep at.
Yeah.
We're always at that restaurant, and we enjoy being there.
That's great. All right, so this is going to be like a family table. Y'all can talk over each other when I ask the questions. This is the official New Orleans questionnaire, so let's do this rapid fire. All right, first question. What's the best pool boy?
Shrimp.
Yeah, shrimp.
Oh, wow, that was quick.
Shrimp dress.
All right, what's your favorite New Orleans smell?
Gumbo in the air. Somebody cooking gumbo.
I like that gumbo. Gumbo smell. Roux.
Red beans.
Making a roux.
Making a roux?
Making a roux wakes you up.
Making a roux?
Yeah.
Mardi Gras or Jazz Fest?
Whoa, that's
Oh,
tough.
that's
hard.
tough. That's a dirty question.
Yeah. Both.
Yeah.
Jazz and gras.
All right, that's all right.
There you go.
You can be even across there. All right, if you had to put together a restaurant Mount Rushmore, who would be on there?
No, that's a very tough one.
That's hard. I mean, come on. Where's the easy question?
He's trying to put us on the. Look, I will say this: New Orleans is a place that has so many restaurants, so many great ones that's been around for many, many years, and the new ones that's just starting. Every chef, they inspire each and every one of us. So that is a tough one because I think there's a few more that we haven't even opened or that haven't even opened that would come there because we're just so talented with hospitality here in this city, and we got to keep that going.
Y'all are good. I like that. All right, chicken or seafood gumbo?
Seafood.
Seafood.
Gumbo.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
very good. What's your favorite New Orleans movie or TV series? New Orleans-based movie or TV
Princess
series?
and the Frog.
Hey,
You'd say that. Princess and the Frog.
Princess and the Frog all day.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen it,
You better
Yes.
see
you
it.
better see it. It's fantastic. Neutral ground or sidewalk?
Sidewalk.
Neutral ground.
Neutral ground, and for me, we're just gonna hop between the bands and catch both of them.
Ah, I like it. All right. What's your earliest memory of visiting the French Quarter?
Oh wow! I think going through certainly you experienced the beignets, but I think the flea market, walking up and down there and having a play and getting some fresh fruit and really praline here and there, it's a beautiful time.
Okay. Tracy?
Yeah, I would have to say it's the flea market,
Flea market.
early on.
All right. What's your favorite New Orleans song?
Do you know what it means to miss New Orleans?
Go ahead.
No, then I'm gonna go off key, and then you're gonna have to join in with me.
I got you.
Zoe or Dook, do you want to join in that chorus line? Or?
I've been on John Baptiste lately, so I'm bringing in the next generations in the new school. John Baptiste, Trombone Shorty,
Any one of their
PJ
songs,
Martin.
huh?
Oh man, John Boutte is a little older, but I mean,
Yes.
I love those. You got a lot going here.
PJ and John did a pretty good job at the Grammys.
Oh man,
They certainly
got to
did.
keep it going.
All right. What's the one New Orleans food item you can't live without?
You can't live.
Crawfish.
Okay, crawfish.
I love crawfish.
Zoe's on crawfish.
So he stays on crawfish. No, gumbo is it's everything in a bowl for me.
Okay.
And if we're gonna keep traditions on a Monday, we better say red beans and rice.
Very good. All right. Here's one. You've been out of town for a month. You're flying back into the airport. You hop in an Uber and decide you want to have a drink. Where are you going and what are you going to have?
Ooh, I'm a bourbon type guy. Give me my Sazerac, old fashioned, but I'm going with a Sazerac. And I mean, why not have it at a Sazerac bar? I mean, just keep it going.
Take them down to the Roosevelt. Zoe?
I don't drink, but if they do virgin daiquiris, probably a virgin daiquiri.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, I'm going with anything with a little rum, but I'm going for the company.
Yeah.
And the good time. I'm not going to be left out, so I'm going wherever we going.
And I'll have all their drinks.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Yeah, let's bring it home with this. In 5 words or less, why do you love New Orleans?
Oh, it's just, go ahead.
The culture. Definitely the culture.
Yeah, it's a celebration of people.
Trace?
It's the family, the community. It's the celebration of togetherness.
Wow. Well, thank you all so very much. This is togetherness. Deeply appreciate the Chase family visiting today. Let's have you back after we go through Lent and we discover what that Holy Thursday was like after 3 servings, right?
Yeah, we'll bring you some gumbo zam.
Please,
Yeah.
definitely.
There you go.
But best wishes, continued best wishes. We love Dooky Chase. We love all of you guys. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you
This
very
has
much.
been
And we
awesome.
love you.
great.
Thank you.
This week in New Orleans.
All right, look, Mardi Gras is over. We're into Lent, but there's still so much to do here in New Orleans. So let's go to This Week in NOLA and see what's happening. Take it away, April.
Thanks so much, Mark. Here's where to eat, drink, and play this first week of the Lenten season. Mardi Gras may be officially over, but the city doesn't stop. We're just shifting gears. Whether you're still recovering from Carnival or ready to ease back into the daily grind, here's where to start. On Saturday, head to the National World War II Museum for Dine and Dance Swingin' Sweethearts, where the Victory Swing Orchestra celebrates the big band era with great food and live music. And if you're looking to balance out all that king cake, there are plenty of mindful bites around town. Bearcat Cafe offers healthier options that are lighter but still full of flavor. Over at the French Market, Meals from the Heart Cafe serves a vegan beignet that tastes just like the original. And you can also find fresh, health-forward options at St. Roch Market and Green Fork. And yes, even Fat Boy's Pizza makes the list with gluten-free crusts and toppings loaded with veggies and lean protein. Late February means crawfish season is right around the corner. Seafood markets and restaurants across the city are starting to serve them every way you can imagine. Many local breweries are also getting in on the action with weekend crawfish boils and live music. Keep an eye out on Urban South, Port Orleans, Second Line Brewing, and Miel Brewery for their spring schedules. If you're picking up a few pounds to enjoy at the Fly, City Park, or along the lakefront, don't forget the drinks. And a beat of strawberry makes a perfect pairing, and a 6-pack from Cajun Fire Brewing Company or NOLA Brewing always hits the spot. On Thursday, the Queens, 4 Legends, One Stage brings Gladys Knight, Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, and Stephanie Mills to the Smoothie King Center for one night only. Over in New Orleans East, Tet Fest returns this weekend at Mary Queen of Vietnam Church, celebrating the Vietnamese New Year with food, music, dragon dances, and family-friendly activities. You'll find spring rolls, banh mi, pho, and plenty of live performances throughout the weekend. And for sports fans, the Pelicans host the Milwaukee Bucks on Friday and the Philadelphia 76ers on Saturday at the Smoothie King Center. And of course, comes Ash Wednesday, the day New Orleans collectively exhales after Carnival. In this very Catholic city, many people start the morning at church receiving their ashes as Lent begins. You'll see them on foreheads, at coffee shops, in the office, and even on the streetcar. For more information on where to eat, drink, and play this week in New Orleans, visit neworleans.com. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you, April. Guys, what are y'all going to do this weekend?
I think it's time for recovery. After a long Mardi Gras season, I think I'm just going to kind of take it easy this weekend. Maybe go out for dinner a night or two, but other than that, I think I'm just going to,
All right. It's an easy weekend. Pooch?
I guess I'll let the cat out the bag. I am opening a restaurant in Alpharetta, Georgia. So we sold Sage on Magazine Street, and we're opening up a Sage in Alpharetta. So I will be up there.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate
Sounds like a road trip.
Yeah. Y'all all welcome to come. I need some dishwashers and busboys and whatnot.
All right.
Very, very happy to get into that, but obviously we wanted to start after Mardi Gras holidays.
Excellent. And what will be your menu like?
So Sage was a modern Mediterranean things. So I have actually Creole children, and then I have a Palestinian child. So it's kind of an homage to all of them.
Wonderful.
And so it's a Latin American upbringing, my Creole upbringing, and then an homage to my Palestinian daughter. So
beautiful.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent. Well, best wishes. And Larry?
Appreciate that.
Probably recovering too, and getting ready for the baby coming any day soon. So yeah.
All right.
Expecting a boy soon, baby boy.
Boy, that's fantastic. Blessings to you and your beautiful wife.
Thanks.
That's great.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Well, thank you all so very much. As for me, the recovery is part of it, but I'll find something to do. There's, we're getting into festival season, so there's going to be so much to do in New Orleans. We'll be talking a lot about that in the weeks to come. This is Positively New Orleans. As we enter this season of Lent, a traditional time for reflection and reassessment, my thoughts turn toward the richness of the community in which we live. And richness not in the usual sense. Our greater New Orleans area, including the North Shore, is blessed with countless nonprofit organizations that are more than buildings or programs. They are lifelines for thousands of individuals and families. These are the places people turn when there is nowhere else to go, when life falls apart, when hope feels distant, when they do not know what else to do. In moments of crisis, fear, and quiet struggle, our community nonprofits show up. Not because they must, but because they care, because it is their mission, because it is their passion. We all know someone, a family, or perhaps even ourselves, who has turned to one of these organizations for help. These organizations never sleep. They answer the call. They provide hope. They provide a path toward recovery. But nonprofits cannot do this work alone. Their greatest strength is not funding or facilities. It's the people, just like you. They need people willing to give their time, to serve meals, to hold a crying child, to listen without judgment, to mentor someone before that person believes in themselves. When you volunteer, you do more than give time. You give dignity, you give connection, and you give hope. And when we volunteer, we become the change in our community. But something else happens too. It changes us. It reminds us that we matter, that our actions matter, that even small acts of service can create lasting impact. These organizations bring out the very best in our community by inviting us to step outside of ourselves and stand together. Volunteering can also mean providing resources beyond our time. I am reminded of the generosity of our region through two remarkable programs. One was created around Super Bowl 59, Impact 59 powered by Entergy, the official Super Bowl Legacy Grant Program. It provided more than $3.5 million in grants to 65 local nonprofits. And then there is Greater New Orleans Foundation's Give NOLA Day. Last year alone, it raised nearly $7 million from individual donors. Whether you give $10 or $100, you make a difference. You are part of the change. So now we turn the page from Mardi Gras and begin our journey into Lent. Take a moment to reflect on your own opportunity to make that difference. Many of you already give so much. Continue to be the change. And in doing so, you strengthen our neighborhoods, our people, and our entire region. And that's Positively New Orleans. And that's a wrap. Special thanks to our sponsors, Blue Runner Foods, Crystal Hot Sauce, New Orleans & Company, our friends at Visit the North Shore, and their podcast, All the Waves. Go check it out. We'll see you next week.